Hold on. Let's roll. Yeah, baby. Hey, Matt. Business as usual. You shared this, right? Could it be 1981, November 9th? It was actually yesterday, November 9th, 1981. We all became familiar with a little band down under.
And we all became familiar with a Vegemite sandwich for the first time.
Exactly. Choke one of those down, I dare you. Almost impossible. Matt, business as usual with CPI.
So they should they have add the Vegemite sandwich to the Nathan's?
I think I'd like to see what the CPI is on Vegemite. Has that gone through the roof? Who do we got? Vegemite sandwich. Yeah, we're being live streamed. I get it. You got to keep fucking talking to G. He keeps knocking on the stream and says, hey, you know that we're watching. Yeah, we know you're watching. Matt, almost a world record yesterday in the modern era. We had almost 1,000 views. Thank you so much, anybody that tuned in. Please retweet the broadcast far and wide. Matt, CPI's friendlier, still ridiculous. But
everything is great.
Listen, we're going to get
in
into how great.
In 12 hours, everything from the Democrats smoked the election. They won everything there in their mind, even though the House is definitely done to the Republicans. And
yeah, the spin wheel is spinning.
Wheel is spinning. But yeah, everything is good. So in one day, everything was fixed. The Democrats won supposedly, and the economy is back on track, just like that.
These things take time to play out, man.
Yes.
But let's go to price discovery. We say that on the way in. Like, who cares? Me and you, our opinions they're meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're long or short something leveraged, and we're going to talk about leverage in a minute with the FTX story.
Yep.
Everybody's a trader, Matt, until the leverage bites you in the ass
right.
and you're lost all your shekels.
Yep.
Please bring up. What do you want to go? Dollar index or
I want to start with the dollar because everything hinges on the dollar right now. Everything.
Okay.
This is what we've been talking about. And again, we talked about that peak at 113. It was most likely going to sell off there. If you listened to us and said we're probably not going to go to these 114, 115s, you've had a heck of a trade. Take some off. 113 down here to 108. However, when you fractal out, I did want to show you this. When you fractal out, there's room to move. And we talked about this, just yesterday. It's probably going to go to this 107 level. We're almost there. We're not, and then quickly we can cruise through there down to 106. And ultimately, I think we're going to go back and test on the long picture. I think we're going to test the COVID high. Don't forget, we're talking COVID lows on equities, but COVID high on the dollar, because if the dollar comes back to the zone where it broke out from.
Hey, Matt, nothing clearer, too, for me than we talk floors and ceilings all the time.
Yes.
You made the COVID high, you retested it again, struggled to break through it. When you broke through it, it became the floor.
Yes.
It was the ceiling. It became the floor perfectly.
Yes.
And so for sure, an argument to be had there.
Yeah. And this one, again, 114 to, we're looking at about a $5 bracket. So that matches up 109.59, $5 down is like 104.80 or so, which is right about, at the 103.80 from the COVID low. So we're heading there, Bob. We are heading there. And with that, I want to point out that interest rates have fallen. We talked about this yesterday, 4.7, and this is a 610 chart. So this is a monster sell-off, but we haven't taken out this low from just last week. So I'd watch that level 4.25. If we get back under there, it's probably got room to go, and it probably will, again, I guess if everything's fixed, there's a gap down here at 356, since inflation's only 7.8, who knows, I haven't even looked through these numbers yet. I'm sure they'll be revised and changed.
Right.
I saw there's some other indices that are tracking everyday prices, everyday inflation, right? There's people that actually track real things because the CPI doesn't count real stuff. They don't count healthcare, education, home. They don't count any of that anymore. So none of that's food, energy, none of it's factored into your inflation. It's just a bunch of service industry stuff, basically. It's useless.
Right. And where is the high of that value range? Let's point that out because there's no reason why
$3, 283,
continuation.
283. Yeah. That's just on the rates. Now on the bonds, we'll throw those up here real quick also because they obviously are through the moon, through the roof today, through the moon, more likely.
Up to the moon and then through it. Right.
Okay, but we got to get to the short-term chart just to see this move. But really, what has happened? Oh gosh. So really, we haven't done much. So here's how I look at markets: 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, right? So we're again, we talked about this yesterday. We were making lows, all week, and then it stopped, and it felt like this information really felt to me like it was coming. This isn't a surprise. Like the market set up to trap everybody short on the equity side yesterday. So like this is exactly, but guess where we are? Right back to the scene of the crime, 131. So this isn't new, these aren't new prices again, right? So everybody's all excited, but all we're doing again is bear market trapping. Bear market trapping. Everybody was too short into the news. Now they got to wipe them all out. Once they wiped out, who's going to be left to buy? This is how bear markets work. That's why they're so difficult.
Right on.
So difficult.
Especially in
and that's why we say when you're short, you got to take profits, especially when they're down, 2, 3, 4, 10%, like on names. You can't hold HODL to zero. And with HODL in mind, I think maybe you want to talk next, maybe a little.
Here's the liquidity. Let's go. And let me share. I got to tell you, this storyline has really got under my skin, to tell you the truth. And that is two things here. First of all, FTX, wow, I did not know that. Giant partners with the World Economic Forum, which actually makes me want to cheer of their demise. But what I don't want to do is cheer because they skunked a lot of people. And the thing that I think is the most interesting here is this advertising piece from the World Economic Forum in partnership with the FTX. I don't know when this was from, shared by Miss or Mrs. Halprin. FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange built by traders. Remember that, for traders. Built by traders, for traders. And then I'm going to share this little share from Slope. And I don't know this to be 100% true, but it's built by traders for traders. Matt, Slope shares. And here's the least surprising news of the year: hearing chatter that FTX used client funds to trade stocks and lost billions. Wait a second. If they were traders, they must be pretty shitty traders to have lost everybody's money. It's like, wait, and the thing that really irritates me about it, I swear to God, it's like, not only are they shitty traders, they're the most unbelievable, just greedy slobs known to man. Greedy slobs. They have this giant exchange where they are the exchange, the market, the broker, and the market maker. So they get to see the book, they get to trade against the book. They can print money. They can print money all day long. You greedy, fat slob. You fucking slob. That wasn't enough. No, you're a trader. Oh, I'm a trader. Since I'm a trader, I'm going to go trade stocks where I can't rig the game, right? I'm going to leverage up. And when my trading is shitty, then I'm going to start using customer funds to margin my shitty trading until everybody's out of money. Thank you for playing. It's swear to God. I mean, honest to God, people talk all the time, or bring them to the town. Yeah, bring them to the town square and
hook up the electrodes to their
right, and let the peasants have their way. And believe me, there's a lot of people. There's going to be collateral damage here, Matt, because if they're margin trading that lost it, somebody supplied the margin, so somebody else is holding the bag.
Yep.
Right. It's not just that 6 to 8 billion that they lost. So where's the liquidation event on all the shit that they can't margin anymore? And by the way, I don't know this to be true for this to be of the story, but it sure smells this way. And it reminds me of, Corzine and the magic he worked at MF Global when he was using, UK segregated account money to fund his yield curve trade that he got shoved in his can because he's a trader too. Oh, thanks for playing.
Yeah, but he's
But
also
it's
but
infuriating.
he's a senator. He's a senator from
Oh my God.
Senator.
New Jersey.
From Jersey.
What exit?
Senator.
What exit?
I don't know. Lee's
All right.
not on today. He would have to tell us. I don't know. But the former chair buried the futures market back then, and in the 08-09 period, because he was a trader too. But again, obviously,
The thing that just blows me away is like,
here's what's interesting. From that, like there actually has been a trade. Like if you are a trader, obviously, today is reactive in all markets. All assets are one. Like there's nothing to say here. Like gold, again, I want to talk about gold after this also, because we're talking about alternative asset classes. 21,451 all the way down to 14 or 15,523, right? New lows since going back to 20 on the but this is bouncing right to where it should, which is back to maybe 19,000. We could get back up there pretty quickly. The quicker we do it, the better that trade sets up, by the way. The better that trade sets up. So if you missed this bottom, you didn't buy down here yesterday when everybody was, running crazy with their head cut off and talking about, this loser, and it's all going to come out, like you said, over time. But this is going to, it's going to bounce back, but nothing's changed here. I just want to bring this up, that this doesn't mean now's the time to buy Bitcoin and hodl. It doesn't mean that.
back to the other chart.
Matter of fact, there's going to be more FTX stories coming. There's going to, as you said, shrapnel. It could be Binance next. I mean, they got to you know what they did? They did what Morgan and JP did, or JP and Citi did with Bear Stearns. Like this is just the beginning. It's just like 08. We're just starting. Like if you think it's over now, no. Like it's just starting. The fun, the volatility, the craziness. We gotta get out every last one of these mofos. They gotta all be wiped out. Like, the Winklevoss has got to go down. Like they gotta go down.
I'm not sure they got to go down if you're not leverage trading another asset class.
No, but if they're doing the same shit, if they're trading shit,
that's a big if.
Right.
And that's why I don't know.
What about Novogratz? Where's he? He's been awfully quiet.
He's been very quiet because he got Luna shoved in his Luna. Matt, just pointing out that floors become ceilings and ceilings become floors. For sure, that's going to be a giant ceiling now in Bitcoin, for sure. All right, Matt. Inflation is going down, so that's good for gold. Again, we've talked about gold for the past, year or so, year and a half. In an inflationary environment, gold should be good. Yet, if you married that position leveraged, you're out of money. And now the reverse
reach around.
The reverse reach around is apparent because inflation seems to be taming, so they say, but gold is rallying.
What is the story? Can we get Peter Schiff on? Because he's always telling me that when inflation is going crazy, gold needs to go up, and when inflation is going down, now gold goes up. I'm confused. Peter, what is it? Listen, we've gone from 1618 all the way up to 1756 in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Take some profits if you were long, and if you are not short, maybe you think about throwing some on here because inflation's over.
No, I really like that higher because
you like 1850.
I for sure like that. I actually like the point of control too, and because you start taking out those other two highs, and everybody's like, yeah, see it. We're in a bull market now. You see, we took out those other two highs, but you're really just coming back into the point of control.
Right.
I mean, and believe me, if you're long and you don't take profits at that point of control on a giant part of your position, once again, you're not a trader, you're a slob.
You're a slob and you're a pig.
Yes. Exactly. It's oh my God, I'm irritated. Now I'm irritated. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me. All right, Matt, I want to share something. We swear to God we're not a politically activated show. All right, we swear on that. But I wanted to share. Let me just share this. from Clay Travis sharing Brad Wilcox, IFS, I believe. Married men broke Republican by 20 points. Married women broke Republican by 14 points. Unmarried men broke Republican by 7 points. But who had unmarried women being the demographic that made the red wave subside into a purple trickle?
Dick Trickle?
Out of Dick Trickle, exactly. And
by the way, isn't that the best name ever in sports?
For sure. Lilith of Assyria says, yep, and they're underfucked big time. I don't know about that. I'm not an unmarried woman. Whoa, man.
You don't identify as an unmarried woman?
No, I don't. And the reason why I wanted to bring that all up, as a public service announcement, especially Matt, coming into the holiday season, I want to just reiterate this. Let's all try to frequency emotionally higher if we could. And right. I thought we've talked about this before, that the messaging is so brutal. Like all the messaging is right down there at the bottom. The lowest frequency emotional messaging available on the planet: shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. Yeah. That's all that gets presented to you. And I'm not a scientist or a data scientist, but I think the data is proving that maybe unmarried women are the most susceptible to this type of messaging. I don't know. Call me crazy. I was a econ and finance major, so I really don't know this, but
I also think I agree with you, and from a data perspective, though, it was brilliantly played by the Blue Party. Like this is what they've been doing. They've been preaching this, in a nation divided, where I guess half the people believe this shit, and half of them are like, "Are you kidding me?" Like we're laughing, but. And again, for me, abortion is never going to be a topic that I'm deciding on. For me, it's not like the big thing that I'm going to vote for on something.
Well, I mean, I think
not going to be. Like that's not even a thing for me. Pronouns isn't a thing for me. Woke shit isn't a thing for me. So none of those things. To your point, that orange and red, I don't listen to it. It's freaking the most negative. And he went back to Angry Joe immediately yesterday after winning, like right away. Attacking. You will die. And now you're starting to see these weird articles about, pediatric ICUs are full of kids with flu-like symptoms because nobody's freaking taking the shot. And that's the way that they're pushing that shit now. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all.
All right, man. What else do we got to cover here? Sorry for the sidetrack there. We went to we're not a political show. Sports. Oh, we're not a sports show either. We got a Thursday night football offering again. Who gives a shit about this Thursday night game? This might. The only way you could get lower ratings on this game is if you had Jacksonville involved, right? It's right. Atlanta,
Carolina, right?
Carolina. I mean, are you kidding me?
But this is kind of news. This one just broke about an hour ago, and Phil Knight doubts Nike will resume the relationship with Kyrie Irving. Interesting to me because, you talk like when I listen to Kyrie Irving talk, whether you agree or disagree with his position, he's very well spoken, intelligent about the subject and how he feels about his philosophy on these things. And why can't we respect somebody for just that? Because
you can't. Why can't we just?
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like he's thought about this for a long time, and what his position on it is his position. So, don't you want somebody who thinks like that for your brand, or do you just really want to be a puppeteer again? I mean, it doesn't. Just the whole shit. Like, and Kyrie and Kanye should come together with their brands. I mean, this is the thing. The great thing still about America is you can go out and start your own shit now. Find somebody. Maybe Crocs wants to distribute Yeezys and wants.
Thank you. Yes. How about you? How about Crocs? How about you up your ante into the food market? But I can't imagine they're not woke as can be too. Please. Let's look at them. Why wouldn't we?
But if you want an opportunity, if you want an opportunity to save yourself, right? I mean, this is such an opportunity. This is interesting. I wonder why this has been going up. Well, everything's been going up, but Crocs, bottomed out here at 47, trading back here at 89. This chart actually looks pretty good, Bob. It actually looks pretty good.
Freckle out one more time.
I mean, this is 610, so we're looking at.
Okay, you're right.
This is back to the first of the year. This is a big base. We're putting a big base in here. Surprisingly, like 45 was the low here. This does not look bad. Does not look bad at all to me, Bob. So I don't know.
Do they pay? They don't pay?
No dividend. No dividend. $5.5 billion market cap. But you know what? You bring in Yeezys, and you have Yeezy design a shoe for Irving, and you're taking this thing to 20 billion overnight.
Man, how is it possible that
why aren't we running Crocs?
Well, let me ask you a question.
I'm knocking on Kanye's door, or the two doors, because we don't know which Kanye we're going to get today. But I'm bringing him in.
Yay!
I'm bringing him in, and we're talking about how we can distribute his product under the Crocs Yeezy brand.
Matt, what did Adidas said that they're expecting a 50% decline?
Yes.
That's impossible.
Yes.
That's impossible. Adidas, is it publicly traded?
Yes, it is in Germany.
In Deutschland.
I think it's probably there's probably an ADR too. Let me look.
While you're looking, Matt, I want to share back to the down under. I want to go back down under and share my Aussie dollar chart, because you talk DXY, but obviously the DXY is a basket of currencies. And how about the tickle? We were looking at this before we came on, Matt, and it tickled right into that weekly moving average with the negative slope. Again, please pay attention to slope and standard deviation modeling. It is the nuance that you need to pay attention to. The slope and standard deviation modeling is very, very important. And it tickled it. The average was, what was it? 65.94. And we just made a high of 66.05. Tickled at 10 points, Matt. That's pretty damn good. And it's already off 40 points from that level. Believe me, when I was on the trading floor, trading currencies, a 40-point move in a half hour in the Aussie dollar was, there would be noise in that pit, Matt. There would be noise. There would be a lot of people that don't generally trade in that pit, in the pit.
Right.
Which was the beautiful thing about the trading floor. You just followed the noise if you were a GDI, a goddamn independent. If you were GDI, it's true.
I mean, the handful of times I've been on the floor visiting people, I didn't visit you, but I was just showing you some pictures. Probably the last time I was there was 2012. And I brought my boys down to the floor and, was meeting with some of the people I knew down there. And man, it was like, I remember during that time, like the grains were going crazy and guys from the Euro were jumping over to the corn. I was like, what do you know about corn, Nick? He's like, I don't know, but there's something going on. I'm going in there. Like, just the volume was the thing that drove this stuff. Right. So it's fascinating because I'd never traded. I was never a floor trader. I was just I liked watching you floor traders. I like the physicality and the noise.
You would have been good, man. You would have been good in the trading. Yeah, you would have.
I was not.
You'd have been the mound round of rebound. You're going to push people around. Matt, let me continue on the individual basket items because I think it's interesting here. Because the euro is actually making some waves here. Now, the slope is still negative on this weekly, but it has cleared the up momentum level. If they can close here and in the next couple of weeks, they can turn this thing around. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that that chart is healthier than it has been in a long, long time. As you can see, we have not been in up momentum in the euro since January, the end of January of this year. We spent 2 weeks there, January, February, where they tried to, halt this slide. And since then, it's been lower the whole way. So pay attention. All right. The peso, I spent a lot of time in the peso. Nice bracket in the peso, and it looks healthier too. It's actually in up momentum on the weekly, right? And if it can take out this bracket and close the week above it, buy some, peso vacations, vacation is getting more expensive. All of these, Matt, looking to make some waves here as we go through them. Aussie, Canada, the Kiwi, but still longer term, Matt, a lot of work to do, as not only do you got to close and clear these levels, but you got to spend time there in order to change the slope of the standard deviation modeling. Let me say that again. You got to spend time in these positive areas of price discovery long enough to change the slope.
You got to find more buyers.
You got to find more buyers. The story has to, it's got to take hold, and it's got to stick around.
Yeah, and that's a good segue into like what we're seeing today. Like, you can't just have one day of like taking out all the shorts that were short, right? For the 5%. So basically we took what we did today, as far as the short term. Here's the best way for me to explain it to people. Let me just bring it up here real quick. And really what happened is, and I'm going to bring up kind of, I'm going to look at a week and then 2 weeks, okay, on the NASDAQ and the SPUs, just so we can see this. But basically what you're going to see is that, we took out everybody that was short for the week price levels, right? And so once
Bring it up. We don't see it yet.
I know, I'm just getting it ready. So
right on.
So what we did, and yesterday we talked about this, like where that market was closing was very bullish. Like I bought a little bit, at the close yesterday, just a little bit, because I figured, well, if it washes down like 5%, because this is the way you have to think about a CPI. Like, but the thing was, it wasn't going to come in at 10. Like, you could just feel it. You could feel the market. They had sold it off into the number, anticipating just to trap as many people as they could. And again, this is the game within the game. And you have to, like, this is something as a trader, if you're trading, Mr. Bankman Friedman, Burgermeister, if you are a true trader, you understand the context of why the market was going down yesterday into a big CPI number that had been going up 6-7 months in a row. Listen, the Democrats just won the election, so they're going to have good news. Guess who controls all that data again? So that came out, and so what did we do? Well, yeah, we took out everybody that was short for the week, but did we take out everybody now for the last 2 weeks? Oh no, we haven't. So again, I then go to the scoreboard and I fractal out and go, have we really changed much besides 1 day, 2 day, 5 day? Did we go past 10 day? That would be powerful. Like, if we were to close on the NASDAQ above 630 today, tomorrow, that means the last 2 weeks of traders now who are short are underwater, right? So you have to look at, I think, as a true trader, you have to look at that context on multiple timeframes. Now, the SPUs did, okay? The SPUs did. They did this morning. They took out that high of 27. So we're at a new high in this move. We've been calling for 39.50 since we're at 3,550 level. So now we're kind of there. Now you have to fractal out on the SPUs and say, okay, they've kind of done their job. Where could they go next, right? And you start looking at the next fractal. And, Bob, I've been saying this, 4,000 is definitely in the cards here when you start fractaling out.
And again, I mean, it's efficient price discovery. That is an efficient, well-distributed profile.
I mean, the 3960 is the point of control right now for this time period, which is we're looking probably, what are we back to here? My Zoom is, oh yeah, we're back to July. So you're looking at basically a 6-month chart here. So again, 6 months, if we're able to close November above 4,000, close above 4,000 in November, I say you could go to 4150. That's this next level, right? So these are the stories. And now you're finding buyers at higher prices, Bob. That's what you're starting to see. And then when you and then if you blow through that, if you get through that $4,000 level, and now you got to bring the next fractal in and go, well, where could we go after that? If we go over 4,000, well, wow, Matt's not kidding. 4150 comes right into the picture. When you look at the longer term, 610, this was the all-time high, 4806 down to 3,500. Guess what? That's 1,300 points. Halfway back is 4150. Bam.
Alabama.
But that's, I mean, this number is 50% retrace and the point of control, Bob.
All right, Matt, we got a shitty Thursday night football, but we do have a Bears Packers game. I mean, a Bears Lions game. I promised the Detroit Lions on Twitter that we'd cover the game today a little bit. So let's talk Bears Lions. I mean, the Lions have
is the game in Detroit again?
Hold on, let's just look at that. Matt, the Lions have
it's at Soldier Field, Detroit at Chicago.
All right, what's the weather? First of all,
Yeah,
weather Chicago.
These
are all the things that
it's November, it's shitty, it's damp, it's raining.
Perfect tailgate time though in Chicago. Perfect. It's not so cold yet. You might not even need to have a glove, right, for your beer hand. Oh, son of a bitch. Did I do it? I did do it. We broke with I broke with a Manja TV Frank commercial there, trying to find Chicago weather. Unreal.
It's been warm East Coast, but I like I said, I haven't looked.
And what is the line? Please pull up the line for me.
The line right now, let's see if I can find that real quick for you, Bobby. And there's some good football games. We'll be talking NFL tomorrow and more NCAA, but it looks like the Lions are 2.5 point underdogs. 2.5 point underdogs.
And let's just say the thought on everybody's mind, the only over under that makes any sense in this game is Justin Fields rushing yards. Seriously, after he breaks the NFL record.
And after he breaks the record, what will it be? How high will it be, do you think?
I mean, I'll make the over under right now 131.
Oh God, I'll take an under, anything probably up to 90. So that's
really,
yeah.
Matt, you know the Detroit Lions do not play defense.
They can stop runners.
Matt, right now it's 72 and sunny in Chicago.
I know, it's been warm. That's what I said.
72. Are you shitting me? Sunday though, Matt, a high of 39.
That's about how much. Yeah,
a low of 29. Now that is a complete change.
Complete change.
And that tailgate is going to be.
And Detroit's used to playing inside, right, at Ford Field. So
yes,
advantage Bears.
I'm all Bears, all in on our traditional bet. All in, like the Dukes. All right, you're going to take the under. I made it. I'll stick with it. I'm going to take.
Hey, this is, I got to say, this is like, I just got to bring this up because this is like classic action today in these markets. We had the CPI number, right? Shook them down quickly. You could have had your order in there at 10,008 or whatever, or 3950, or 3750, which is where I picked them up. And I mean, I got out up in here at 3880 and it went up another 50 points. I just got short at 30 on the SPOOs and we're down to 10. We're down to 8 now. But look at this thing. It's like a classic. I love this trade. I like both trades. I wanted to be long into the number a little bit. Now I want to be bigger short at 9 o'clock, right? And it's usually it plays out almost perfectly. Like 8:55 was the high of the day. You see this over and over again. If this thing loses down here like 400, if this loses 3,900 again, I mean, this thing can go back down to, again, 3,870 today. So again, you got to be patient though. You can't, just because it's up 4% doesn't mean you have to sell here at this number, right? Wait until it starts giving you some like signs. And that was happening right around 9 o'clock where it really started chopping and started, they were running stops. You could just feel the way they were ding, ding, ding. They were running them out, but they were running out of buyers. And when that exhaustion comes, you got to pounce. If you were long, it's time to sell. If you weren't long, it's time to sell. Play both sides.
Maybe Sam can join our discussion group on traders, building traders things.
Sam doesn't know what the hell he's going to be doing. So.
Well, I had heard that his whereabouts were unknown. I don't know if that's the truth.
That's probably.
But the regulator. I mean, in Binance's
diligence
statement, they said after our due diligence, we're going to pass. And one of the things that they highlighted was the ongoing investigations with U.S. regulators and DOJ
Well, again,
into.
you know my thoughts on this. I think this is all part of the plan to bring down crypto, then to institute central digital banking currencies. I mean, this is what they're trying to do. So, although we're kind of dancing on the grave of the pet rock lovers, but they're still pet rocks. There's really no worth in these things. There's no financial worth.
You are so wrong, but that's why we can have this discussion. I don't have to shut you
I'm not
down.
wrong at $69,000 a Bitcoin. I'm not wrong at all.
Of course you're not. The only thing that matters is the price. But if you were leveraged and you were short at 15,000 because it's going to zero.
I wasn't.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you, a digital bank currency issued by central banks. You want to talk about kissing freedom goodbye?
I'm not. Again, it's a negative thing. I am not a fan of it at all. But I'm just bringing this up.
And let me just say one more time.
I want to.
This had nothing at all to do with crypto or the ecosystem. It had to do with people that said they were traders, and they weren't very good traders.
Well, they acted like they thought they were, but okay, yeah.
Where'd they lose the money though? As far as the paper, we don't know. You're right. We don't know that.
That sounds like speculation from the realtor in the real estate market that's going down. I mean, come on, like it's not my fault. Give me a break.
Wait a second. Who said it was your fault?
Well, no,
Nobody said it was your fault.
I'm saying realtors saying, "Oh, the market going down isn't my fault." You're saying that Bitcoin is only going down because people are stupid. I mean, it also went up because they were stupid. I agree. It's the same thing. This is what I don't get. When things go down, people cry. When they go up, they don't cry. I mean, there's plenty of people betting against it that are crying. To your point.
Yeah. Let the market
let the market fucking work it out and hammer them both.
I agree. Open the market. Open the market. Open market. Free markets for free men. There used to be a badge or a button that everybody wore on the market, on the Merc floor back in the day. Free markets for free men and women.
Hey, by the way, it's interesting. Free spoke. Let's just talk, since you touched on the politics. Let's just talk. Let me just bring something up here real quick so we can look at it. So here's what they show right now. It's 49-48, and the two left, right? I think the two that we have left, we got Georgia with the runoff, right? We got Herschel with his
the
Illuminati
sign. That was
he was going.
I can't spell it. He couldn't.
He was going full Illuminati on his election night speech. But the House, is pretty. Let's see where the House is. And again, this is their numbers right now. And again, still not close. 210 to 192. You need 218 for the majority. So a lot of counting going on still. A lot of counting. The thing that's interesting to me is like where we live, we went red. Like both these counties went red. I mean, when you look at this chart, like that's America, right? Like what's going on in New Mexico? And it's crazy. Like, why is New Mexico like so blue?
Especially because it's a border.
It's full of farmers too. Like, what else do they do?
There's a lot of they do bacon,
meth.
Bacon, and not the crispy bacon. They're the back in natural gas and oil fields are all through New Mexico.
Looks like, by the way, Arizona is back flipping red here again. It's not over, but it's pretty interesting what's going on there. And then in the governor's side. We've got, again, this is blue, but Carrie Lake's still saying she's in it, right? Everybody's touting. This is only 77% counted. This one's going to be interesting. Again, how do you have the woman who counts the votes running for governor? How's that allowed? How is that allowed?
We said on the way in, if one thing had become crystal clear was that.
Can you imagine? Hold on. Can you imagine a world? In a world. Can you imagine that Trump was the Secretary of State and he gets to count the votes for the presidency? Like that's what she gets to do in Arizona. She's the current Secretary of State running for governor. She's counting the votes.
In a world.
Oh my God, where are we living?
So
that's where we are. And then, again, I think the Senate's, we got the runoff that's going to determine it. If Herschel and his Illuminati win, be careful what you wish for, but whatever. 51.49 will be the number as it sits now. If he loses, it's 50-50. Kamala gets to hold the power and talk about yellow buses continuously.
And not visit the border.
And never do a thing but ramble off the cuff about nothing.
I wish there was some price discovery we could go with that. I don't have it yet, though. I don't have it yet. All right, Matt. I think that's it. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Please support through your cooking prowess in the kitchen. Go to Amazon.com and buy some shrimp mojo. Getting ready for the holidays, Matt. I'm gonna try to vibrate higher at some of those high. Let me bring it up again as we leave. Just to this is your resource. All right, this is your resource. And it's important too, because when you see messaging that makes you feel like this, shame, guilt, apathy, grief, and fear, even if anger is way better than any of these other ones.
Yeah.
And pride, right? Pride is still a deadly sin, Matt. You got to get to courage before you start vibrating healthily on this scale. You got courage. What do they got that I ain't got? You got to get to the cowardly lion and get some courage going before you're actually resonating higher. What
if we had a candidate? What if we had one politician in the world that was bringing this enlightenment and peace? What if we had that?
Yeah.
Wow. With the vibration and the joy.
It's been a while.
The reason, the acceptance, right? Like just say these and then think about Joe and when he does the enlightenment. Never, please, never. He's a warmonger, always has been. Joy. That man has no joy. Love. Only thing he loves is little kids and smelling them. Weird. Reason. He's got no reason to be here, and he's got no reason. Acceptance. He talks acceptance, but he doesn't accept shit. He's against everything that is against him. So that's
all right, man. We're not a political show. But
I'm just saying, talk to yourself about this. Like, are you politicians, use this chart to talk to people. Try it. Somebody run on an enlightenment and peace platform. That's all I'm saying. Somebody try it. And with joy and love around that, circle it. All pretty.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Holidays.
All right. Thank you. We got them coming. I will see you tomorrow, my friend.
And with them coming, will there be apologies from those who didn't want you at the holidays the last few years, pal?
No.
Or are you still
the amazing thing is Amnesty was the article, no
right.
mention of an apology.
Again,
it's amazing.
Repentance doesn't exist.
I'm gonna try.
Repentance doesn't exist in that apathy, guilt, and shameful world.
I'm trying for the forgiveness, and I do have the understanding that they were sold. They were sold it and they bought it. Anyway, thank you, Matt. Please be disciplined, trade discipline, mind the moan, know the point of control. If you don't know any of these things, join us at marketvitals.io and start your journey to become a more disciplined trader. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Bobby. Have a great afternoon here.